She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. So let's get into some things, y'all. This cartel case has continued to unfold. I want to make a couple of corrections and go over a couple of things before I get into what I want to talk about today, because the fifth woman that was supposed to go on this trip, that was in the car that ended up being left behind at the hotel, has come out and spoke. And based upon her statements today with Anderson Cooper, it just doesn't make her statements or indications in the story about the whole cosmetic surgery thing sound any more valid than what we already have been questioning. A lot of us have been questioning. So let's get into some of the information. But before we get into that, I want to clarify some things. So first thing is Latavia Washington. She has 6 kids. I initially thought she had 5 children, but it turns out she has 6 kids, just doing too much out here in these streets, knowing she has all them kids, y'all. And one of those kids was the older daughter who was pregnant, which we looked at her photo on her Facebook yesterday, where she talks about her daughter being pregnant. So her oldest daughter is pregnant, and she has 2 twins, which are 2 girls. They're teenagers. And then she has the 14-year-old girl who did the interview with the grandma, and then the 2 little ones. But let's get into some other stuff. So this picture here on the screen is a photograph of her husband, who is facing 10 years for trafficking narcotics, drugs allegedly. This is his mugshot, y'all. You can even see, look at the lips, how chapped the lips is. This man is a straight crackhead. It seems like the common theme in this case is these people that are all involved allegedly appear to be all drug users, just all off the, or drug dealers or some sort. But for some reason, they all tend to have some type of connection with drugs, allegedly. Even that girl, Cheryl, now I don't have any direct evidence about her being involved in drugs, but I'm just saying, appearance-wise, she looked like she did some type of drug. I don't know what drug it was, but she looked like she's a druggie too. Just a humble opinion about her. But as for the other ones, there's criminal records that show that the other individuals are involved in some type of drugs. Also, I found a mugshot of Latavia. So let's look at that. Let me get that mugshot for you. Here is a mugshot of Latavia. And this was posted June 15, 2020 of Latavia. And they said Latavia Latifah Washington had a failure to appear, resisting arrest, receiving stolen goods under $2,000. So here is one of her mugshots, and this was just 2020. So some people were arguing, oh, well, her cases regarding the drug intoxication of her daughter was back in 2016. That's old. Well, it looks like she still was getting in trouble in 2020, allegedly. She had a failure to appear and receiving of stolen goods under $2,000. So she was over here receiving stolen property, allegedly. So here is her mugshot. So it just seems like these people involved don't really have any, good backgrounds. They just seem to have a lot of grimy things going on in their lives, y'all. Just as shady as you want to be. Now let's move on, because I did find, let's see, is this George. I did find a statement from a woman who claims to be the fiance of Sharid Ward. Here she is, the woman here who claims that she is his fiance, and they were supposed to get married allegedly. And she has come out and spoke about the tragedy. She's posted these photos of him here. We already saw this photo, bless his heart, and this is another picture she had with him. She is allegedly the fiance involved and is speaking out about, her loss of her fiance. She came with the receipts, y'all. She came with the receipts. This is just another photo, guys, Oh my God, look at this one here. Is a picture of a body right there. Let me get that off the screen because you know how YouTube is. But right here is one of the bodies being moved into the ambulance. Let's see. That's pretty crazy that I was there. But anyways, this says, happy heavenly birthday. So it was supposed to be Shire's birthday, guys. This was posted yesterday. And it says, happy heavenly birthday. LaTanya Williams mourns her fiance who was killed in Matamoros after he was kidnapped. He would have turned 34 today. Woodard drove with his cousin Latavia Washington McGee and their friends Eric Williams and Zendel Brown to Mexico Lake to take McGee there for cosmetic surgery. So his birthday was yesterday, guys. That's crazy. And he would have been 34. So he was, that's messed up. Didn't even get to see his birthday. Was brutally taken out of this world, y'all. That is just crazy, right? Let me see if there's anything else in here, guys. Somebody posted this here. They said Latavia Washington McGee's friends send wishful thoughts throughout last few days. Still, let's keep her in our thoughts. And they posted all this stuff to wish her safe travels back. They ain't got a choice. Mind in so many places. Now I'm going full. These different people just wrote different stuff. They're like, this is so sad, stuff like that. Before we get in, this person says, it's a shame what I've been seeing on my timeline about Mexico. See if there's anything else I want to get into. Very distraught. Let's see. I don't know what she's charging before I get this. Yeah, okay, yeah. Some people are just, let's get out of this, guys. I just want to see if there was anything else. Thinking she was getting a doctor's appointment to get a BBL and just across the border. Okay. Now, I also found, allegedly, guys, a photo of the doctor, allegedly. This is the photo of Roberto here that was supposed to do the surgery. But people are questioning whether, she really had an appointment with this doctor, because this doctor and people who have been his patient before have claimed that he doesn't let people come over with the patient, meaning all those dudes that were driving with her over the border, he wouldn't let that go down. Normally, he's not going to tolerate all them people coming into the office and stuff. They have a lot of safety procedures, rules, regulations, allegedly, when these people come to see him for the surgery. So they're saying that the story that they're giving regarding this cosmetic surgery does not line up. But this is Mr. Roberto, who was supposed to do the surgery, allegedly. He hasn't come out and said that he confirmed that she's his patient, but people who are his patient or who were his patient or who have received cosmetic treatment from him are claiming otherwise. There's other weird rumors going on, guys, that doesn't make sense. When we hear from Cheryl Orange, who went on this trip with them, her story does not line up. She claims that she didn't even know that they're supposed to go to Mexico. She claims that they were supposed to be in Texas and they decided to go to Mexico after the fact that the surgery is supposed to be done in Texas, allegedly. But that doesn't make sense, because if you guys have been on the live with me, when we saw the video that Eric posted online, and he was posting online that they were going to Mexico, and even Latavia was in the car talking about, we're going to effing Mexico, blah, blah, blah. So it appears as though they already knew they were going to Mexico. So I don't know why. That's why I'm saying from the different people involved, the story is not really adding up, guys. The story is not making any sense. I just don't trust or believe these people. And this woman, she looked like she been doing drugs. Her story doesn't make sense. She claims up and down that they were supposed to be gone for 15 minutes. Now, that doesn't make sense. I mean, is she saying that only the men are supposed to be gone 15 minutes and that they were going to drop her off? Like, their story doesn't make sense. And allegedly, according to Ventura Report, who quoted at News Nation, they said, police report from Cheryl Orange, friend of American Matamoros, Cheryl did not cross into Mexico because she reports she would not, because she didn't have an ID. But the report states that she would not be surprised if her friends were in trouble, got in some type of trouble, because they are known to party and use narcotics. So that part makes very suspicious, because when she called the officers, she didn't call the officers to tell them, oh, I'm scared that my friends are going to be, unalived or taken out. No, Her fear was that they got into some type of trouble and were in jail. So that part is suspect. So these people tend to be troublemakers, getting involved in things they shouldn't be getting involved in, using drugs, according allegedly to selling drugs, doing different things, doing drugs. She said they tend to get in trouble and use narcotics in the police report that News Nation and Ventura Reports has alleged. So because they pulled the police report and got that statement, let me see if I can find that for you guys while we're waiting here. George Ventura Report. Let's see. At Ventura Report. At Ventura Report. See if I can find that for you guys. In the meantime, while I'm looking for that, I want to start playing this because I feel like the story that she's going to give is not adding up, y'all. Let's play this.
Cheryl, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry it's under these circumstances. How are you doing right now?
It's hard. I'm trying one day at a time. It's a lot to process.
So you were the first to actually alert authorities in Brownsville about that your friends were missing or hadn't made it back. Can you let's just start by telling us about why you and your friends were planning to go to Mexico?
Latavia is my best friend. She hit me up and asked me to join her, to accompany her in a trip to Brownsville, Texas for cosmetic surgery.
See, lie number one, guys. These people are lying. So when Eric was in that van, when they were driving, he said in the van during the social media post that he did, he was like, we're going to Mexico. So they knew the whole time that they were going to Mexico. That's lie number one that this woman is saying. Now she's saying they were supposed to go to Brownsville. She's lying, guys. She's trying to cover up something. Look how long it took her to even get her story right. She's sitting there thinking about the story in her head. Like when they asked her, she should have automatically said, oh, cosmetic surgery. No, she said, Tavia is my best friend. She told me to go to accompany her to Brownsville. Lies, guys. Lies. Why is it that there's no meeting of the minds? Why is Eric saying they were going to Mexico on the social media posts that we saw in a couple videos ago, y'all? And now all of a sudden, now she's saying they were supposed to go to Brownsville, Texas. No, I think they were supposed to go to Brownsville, Texas to get the hotel. And the whole plan was to go into Mexico. And she didn't bring her ID because why was it that everybody else in the car knew they were going to Texas except for this woman? And why did it take her so long to respond? And why was she looking down like she was trying to think of a story? Like she was trying to remember what they told her to say. It's just like, I feel like this woman is lying. That is just my humble opinion. And she do look like a straight crackhead. A straight crackhead. Now, let me see if I can find that. If I can find that again. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to try to see if I can find that post that Eric did, because Eric, when he talked about this case, when he was on social media, he was celebrating saying, we're going to effing Mexico. And even Latavia kept saying, we're going to Mexico. Everybody knew about the Mexico thing except for her. That don't make sense, guys. I found it. Hold on, let me get there. Open. Oh, Lord. Why do they always have these pop-ups, y'all? These pop-ups be getting on my last nerve, y'all. My last nerve. Okay. I'm about to scroll here and play this real quick to the part where I'm going to see if I can find the part where he's saying they're going to Mexico. Hold on. Let me see. Before we finish up with her, because we got to put these stories together, because these stories to me aren't adding up. And so I want to match the answers and see what's really going on. Okay. Because I felt like we caught her in lie number one. Now, I think they talked about it, but I think they talked about the fact that, we're going to stay in a hotel in Brownsville, but we're headed to Mexico. Now, what they were going to do in Mexico, that is the issue. And we're trying to really figure out what was really going on, because I think they lying.
Hey, y'all. Good morning. Look at Tay update. y'all. Fuck y'all, motherfucker. Look at Zell nose. We on the way to Mexico, bitch. I hear this say, look at Zell nose. Bitch. Yeah, man.
Did you hear Latavia? She said, we're on the way to Mexico, B. We're on the way to Mexico, B. See, they already were planning to go to Mexico. So why is Miss Cheryl lying? We just caught her in a whole lie. Let's keep playing this, and then we're going to go back to this Miss Lie over here.
Mexico. You see niggas got neck braces. Shit. Now look at this motherfucker here dance. Hey, 10 days. Oh shit, it's a bro hanging up. What's that? Throw your bags. Throw your bags. Good morning, America. Mexico, here we come. I'm black as hell. I'm in the bag. They go to gas station. They go to gas station. There's a gas station right there, fool. I see a gas station. And I'm down for two. That's where you go when you want to scratch. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket out there. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Look at Tay up there. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all, motherfucker. Look at Zell nose. We on the way to Mexico, bitch. I hear this say, look at Zell nose. Bitch. Yeah.
So lie number one, we caught Miss Cheryl in. Y'all, she lying to us. She lying. Let's go back to Miss Lie. Let's just repeat it back because she lying already. She should have just kept her mouth shut because she gonna mess up the whole live at this point.
And asked me to join her to accompany her. Latavia is my best friend. She hit me up and asked me to join her to accompany her in a trip to Brownsville, Texas for cosmetic surgery. She hit me up and asked me to join her to accompany her in a trip to Brownsville, Texas for cosmetic surgery.
Lies. Why is everybody in the car thinking they're going to Mexico except for her? See, I told you. See, when people lie, the story doesn't add up. The story continues to manifest and change, and people can't get their story straight. Okay, she over here, they went to Brownsville because they were going to get a hotel there and then head into Mexico. She over here lying already because she don't even know what the story is. She's trying to figure, you see how long it took her to answer that simple question, guys? That was a very simple question he asked. He didn't ask anything complex. It took her so long to even answer the question. She's like, Latavia is my best friend. And she called me on the phone. He didn't ask her for all that. He didn't ask that question. He said, where were y'all going? Lies. Let's keep going.
And we began the road trip. We left out on Thursday and traveled to Texas. Once I got there, I was then informed that her procedure was being done across the border. In that event, we were just arrived.
So strike number 2, guys. Latavia is supposed to be her best friend. Didn't she tell us that? Why is it that her best friend lies to her, tells her that they're going to have a cosmetic surgery in Texas, and all of a sudden when they get to Texas says, oh, surprise, we're going to have the surgery in Mexico. See, this doesn't make sense. How are they best friends when you're not even telling your best friend all the details? You just find out about the cosmetic surgery being done in Mexico when you get to Texas. Guys, it doesn't make sense. And she's lying because you heard Eric in the car and you heard Latavia in the car screaming, we're going to Mexico, B. We're going to Mexico, B. The woman just, guys, it don't make sense. She's already lying. And see, she has her story so mixed up because she's trying to remember a lie. And so when you're trying to remember a lie, you will get some of the facts mixed up, which is what she's doing.
I've in Brownsville, Texas at Studio 6, and I didn't have proper identification, and traveled to Texas. Once I got there, I was then informed that her procedure was being done across the border. In that event, we were just arriving in Brownsville, Texas at Studio 6, and I didn't have proper identification, so I couldn't join her to go across to the border, which left me back at the hotel.
So because you didn't know you'd be
you
didn't know you'd be going out of the country, you didn't know you'd be going to Mexico, you didn't bring ID with you. Did you travel with her and the others to Brownsville, or did you meet them there?
No, we all traveled together. Okay. It was a road trip.
So did you have any idea about threats down in Matamoros or what it was like across the border?
Did you hear how Anderson Cooper kind of filled in the blank for her, saying, "So you didn't know you were going to Mexico to get the surgery? You didn't, or you didn't know that you were going to Mexico with her for her to get her surgery." How does she not know that, guys? These are so many red flags in this interview. If you missed it, I don't know what to tell you guys. There's just the red flags are all over the place. First of all, she's saying her best friend is supposed to be this close person, and your friend doesn't even tell you where you guys are going. Then you don't even know that she's going for a cosmetic surgery. It's like, I'm gonna rewind that because it sounded like he was putting words in her mouth, or she really don't know what's going on.
Country, you didn't know you'd be going to Mexico, you didn't bring ID with you. Did you travel with her and the others?
And I didn't have proper identification, so I couldn't join her to go across to the border, which left me back at the hotel.
So because you didn't know you didn't know you'd be going out of the country, you didn't know you'd be going to Mexico, you didn't bring ID with you. Did you travel with her and
That's the weird part about it. How does she not know she was going to Mexico, but they're in the car talking about, "We going to Mexico, B. We're going to Mexico, B." She knew the whole time. That means she's sitting here lying, guys. And you have to ask yourself, why is she lying about it? Why is she trying to act like she didn't know about the going to Mexico trip? There's got to be an underlying reason for why her story is not adding up already. This is a little piece of the story already. We haven't even got to the rest, and she already don't even have the story right. That's because she's lying.
And the others to Brownsville, or did you meet them there?
No, we all traveled together. Okay. It was a road trip.
So did you have any idea about threats down in Matamoros or what it was like across the border? Or did Latavia?
No, sir, not at all. Not to my knowledge. I'm assuming that she didn't know because I know her. Like, she's not going to travel to danger.
Did you actually try to cross the border with them and were turned away, or did you just realize before even trying that you didn't have ID?
No, she told me that when I told her I didn't have my ID with me, they dropped me off at the hotel and said that they would return in 15 minutes. That's why I was so worried and in fear, because it didn't seem right. 15 minutes had gone by. They were not there.
So how long did you wait after 15 minutes? I mean, it must have been agonizing.
When they dropped me off at the hotel, I had got into the shower. I showered and I laid on the bed. I think I was exhausted from, the long hours, the long ride. So I ended up falling asleep. I woke up and it was already 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So from 9 to 5, I went down to the office, the clerk in the hotel, and I asked him, had my friends come back or attempted to, come in and out the hotel, come back to the hotel. And he told me no. So I called my boyfriend. I called Tay's brother, and I said, something's not right. And I text my roommate. I said, something's not right. 9 o'clock got here, 12 o'clock got here, midnight. And then now we're into Saturday morning at 10:23. It's literally a few minutes before checkout.
Hmm.
I'm like, there's no way. I called the cops immediately.
And I know you had their luggage, you had their things. Is that right?
I had 3 of the 3 male victims' belongings. I retrieved it after it became 11 o'clock.
At what point did you learn about what had actually happened? When did you see the video?
They sent it to me, I think it had to be like between Saturday night and Sunday morning, like the wee hours.
What did you think when you saw that? I mean,
I dropped the phone. My body clenched up. I dropped the phone. My stomach was in knots. And I just began praying. I just began praying for the return of them. I didn't know much about the cartels, and I started looking up videos, and it was bad. It was bad. I began to think the worst, and just thank God for her daughter, her 18-year-old daughter, Tay's daughter. She held me together. She held me together. She made me keep the faith.
have you talked to her since? How have you been able to talk to Latavia? Have you talked to her daughter? How is she doing?
Yeah, me and her daughter speak every so many minutes. And yes, I have spoken to Tay. It put me at ease a little bit. It was music to my ears to hear her voice.
What do you want people to know about Latavia and the others, about your friends?
Oh, it fell again. I want the world to leave us alone and stop being mean. I want them to have a heart, because everyone has a past. What happened to her wasn't right. She didn't deserve it. She's a beautiful person. When I spoke to Latavia yesterday, she said, thank you. She told me thank you, and said she was worried about her. This lady was facing death damn near. And she said, I was worried about you.
She said she was worried about you.
I love her. She's the best. Right?
Wow.
She's a beautiful person.
Well, Cheryl,
Well, for sure, I could agree with her is that they did not deserve what happened to them. They did not. But to come on national television, knowing you guys are not telling the full truth, y'all should, if you want people to leave you alone, then don't come onto the media and do an interview. Because what's going to end up happening is people are going to listen to your interview and they're going to question it and they're going to scrutinize it. And then now people are digging up the police report. And in the police report, she's telling the officers she wouldn't be surprised if her friends got in trouble because they are known to party and use narcotics. Allegedly, that's what the police report is saying, according to Ventura Report, George Ventura Media. They're saying that, and they add News Nation with that information. So it's like, yes, everyone has a past, and at no way did they deserve what happened to them. No way did they deserve this. That is not what anybody is saying. No one is saying they deserved it. What people are asking, though, is what was really going on and what was the reason why they went there. Because she said they were supposed to come back 15 minutes. Number one, that doesn't even make sense to me. 15 minutes? I mean, wouldn't they want, if they allegedly dropped her off at the hospital, allegedly, wouldn't they want to wait to make sure everything's okay and then come back? That's weird, too. How come she didn't know that they were going to Mexico and they seemed to knew that they were going to Mexico according to their social media posts that we just watched? Number three, why did she just up and go to sleep without even thinking about and caring about her friends getting back? And then wakes up 5 o'clock in the evening, call the police and accuse them of possibly using narcotics and getting in trouble. So she's already admitting that her friends use narcotics and do drugs, which could have possibly been one of the reasons they got into this mess in the first place. So I agree with her that they don't deserve what happened to them. Absolutely not. They don't. But why would you come on and do an interview? You're just going to make things worse because people are going to scrutinize and question and want to know what's going on. And I hope nobody's messing with these families. I hope nobody's out there harassing these people. Y'all shouldn't be doing that. But people have a right to question things because people have a mind and a thought process, and they're going to analyze things to try to figure out what's really, really, really going on. Okay. So let's keep playing this, y'all. Let's keep playing this last little bits and piece of the interview.
So sorry for what you and your friends have gone through, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and I wish you the best. I hope you get to see her soon.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And boy, oh boy, was that very sad to see her crying like that, because she don't need to be, going through this, and she shouldn't have to, go through this at all. It was, not her fault, and definitely none of them deserved what happened to them. But at the same time, don't come on an interview and do an interview. Don't do that when you know people are going to have questions, y'all. People are going to have questions. Let me see if I play this. Saturdays. So that is really all I really wanted to come on here and talk about, guys, is that for now. This is just crazy, y'all. I don't know if people believe what's really going on. And right, tummy tuck don't take 15 minutes to do. Exactly. And I thought that too. I was like, 15 minutes? Why would it only take 15 minutes? But I'm trying to like extract from what she's saying that the other guys were going to come back and just leave her at the hospital. But I still think that's weird. Why would you leave your friend in Mexico if she's supposed to get a tummy tuck? You would just want to make sure she's okay. I just think that's kind of weird. I don't know. The story doesn't make sense. She don't even know where they're going when everybody else is. Some people, the people in the car saying they're going to Mexico. She's saying she's going to Brownsville. Guys, the story is just, it's a sad story all around. They did not deserve what happened to them, but she needs to stop going on these interviews. She could have easily said no. She's making it worse because people are going to ask questions. That's how people are. Don't go online and don't do interviews if you want people to leave you alone. Just stay out of the media. Now you did a whole interview and now people got more questions. Okay? Right. And like Emma said, these surgeries, shaking my head, great priorities. Exactly. It's like, really, what's really going on? And what were they going to do in some 15 minutes? Like people said, you got to go through the border. You got all this traffic because people are all trying to get into the border. How are you going to make it back in 15 minutes? And then she went to sleep. She didn't even bother to wait up for them. If they're really going to be back in 15 minutes, why go to sleep? And then why did you tell the officers that you felt you wouldn't be surprised if they went up there and got in trouble or doing narcotics? Why would you tell, the officers that? You're telling the officers that your friends do narcotics and they're supposed to be your friend and you want them to leave your friend alone? And all this stuff, right? But you are incriminating your friend by telling the officers that you wouldn't be surprised if they were over there getting in trouble and doing narcotics. Make it make sense, y'all. Okay, let's take a look. I found it too, y'all. I'm so happy I found it from the news report who said it. News reporter who said this on his Twitter. We might have to take some time to dissect this. We're going to dissect this another video. I'm not going to do a long one this time, but here they said this is the police report. George Ventura Media found the police report. He pulled it, y'all. Kudos to him. He pulled that police report and he said, police report from Cheryl Orange, friend of Americans kidnapped in Matamoros. Cheryl did not cross into Mexico because she forgot her ID. Report says, would not be surprised if her friends got arrested because they are known to party and use narcotics, allegedly. Why, she literally is telling the cops that her friends use narcotics. So let's read this report real quick because this is going to have some juicy stuff in it, right? On Saturday, March 4th, 2023, I was dispatched to 2020-55 North Expressway in reference to a welfare concern. Upon arrival, I made contact with Cheryl Orange. Cheryl appeared to be worried and nervous. I also detected an odor of marijuana emanating from her person. See, she also does drugs too, but marijuana. Everybody do marijuana. Allegedly, I don't know if everybody does. I don't do it, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Cheryl stated that her friend Latavia McGee, Latavia's brother Eric Williams, unknown DOB in his late 30s, Shaeed Woodard, unknown DOB, drove into town on Thursday at approximately 3 o'clock a.m. 3 o'clock a.m. She stated that they all rented a white minivan with unknown North Carolina license plates and drove down here from South Carolina to cross into Tomopolis, because Latavia was going to get an operation surgery done to her body. Okay, see, I told you she lied on national television, because during the interview with Anderson, didn't she say she thought she was going to Texas, Brownsville? Now, when she talks to the officers, she said they were supposed to go to Mexico. So why does she have to feel the need to lie on national television? That's what I'm saying. You want us to leave you alone, but then you're lying in national television. You told the officers that she was supposed to go to Tomopolis to get an operation to her body. Cheryl did not appear to know the details of Latavia's surgery, but did state that she believed the surgery to be a gluteal augmentation or tummy tuck. She further stated that all of these friends are African American. Cheryl stated that she last saw Latavia and her brothers Friday at 8 o'clock a.m., leaving the Motel 6. She stated that they were all headed to Tomopolis. She further stated that she did not know through which port of entry they crossed and did not have any information of the doctor's office that Latavia headed to. She stated that she has not heard from them since. She has tried calling their cell phones, but they sound turned off. Cheryl stated that she would not be surprised. Look at this, is in the police report. She would not be surprised if her friends got arrested, because they are known to party and use narcotics. Did you see that? These people all involved in this are literally drug users and or drug dealers, allegedly. And so it raises questions as to, the cartel involved and all this other stuff. And, maybe she did go there to get a tummy tuck, but what else were they really going to do there? They could have dual intentions. They probably would want to hit up some of them pharmacies also. Maybe they hit up some on the way to the doctor. Who knows? I contacted Carilla's Ruckus Detention Center to check for said subjects to no avail. Cheryl stated that the only reason she did not cross into Mexico was because she did not have her ID with her. She further stated that there was another male subject in company of her friends, but did not have any information on him. And that would have been Zendale Brown. Cheryl stated that Latavia, 5'6", 220 pounds, has black hair, but currently has it dyed blonde. It has brown eyes, is dark complected, was last seen wearing a green dress, and they have her phone number and all that on here, y'all. She stated that Eric, in his late 30s, 6'5", 260, is bald, has brown eyes, dark complected, was last seen wearing white shirt and dark gray pants. She stated that Shaeed is 5'9", 170, has long dreads, and was last seen in a blue shirt and blue pants. So you can see in the police report, she's literally telling the officer that her friends is known to party and use narcotics. So it's like, so she wasn't worried about their safety necessarily. She was worried about them getting drugged up and acting a fool in that place, which again goes to our theory that maybe they were over there acting loud and might have drawn the attention of cartel. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, who knows? But it just, the story doesn't make sense, because she's telling the officers that Latavia was supposed to go to Tomopolis, Mexico, but she's telling Anderson on CNN that they were supposed to go to Brownsville. So it's like, guys, I don't know what to believe with this girl. I don't know what to believe about this story. The bottom line is they didn't deserve what happened to them. The bottom line, but there's still some questions as to the other intentions to go to Mexico. What were those intentions? Were those intentions that got them in trouble? I don't know. And we already can see what's going on with cartel over here lying too. Cartel over here trying to, bring in these fake, the bottom barrel of their individuals, claiming that, you know, these people are the ones that are the perpetrators, when in reality, guys, these are not the people. I watched that video again, and there was a big bulky dude. I mean, a big bulky dude, y'all, that was involved in tossing those dudes into that truck. I watched the video last night, and I'm like, no, these are not the same dudes. These are completely different guys. These guys are trying to put a wool over the U.S. officials' face. They're trying to get away with this. They just want everything to go away, and they want the U.S. to forget everything has happened and just, you know, us go about our daily lives. These people are not the ones that are the perpetrators. They're the bottom of the barrel. The way cartels moving right now is not even consistent with the way they move. They're hoping that the U.S. officials stop doing, you know, any investigations and just move on and bury this thing under the rug, y'all. This is just a hot mess. I mean, may those sweet souls rest in peace. They didn't deserve what happened to them. But again, the stuff that they were involved in with all the drug use and all the stuff that they've been doing, you know, they hope this tragedy helps them change their ways, and just, you know, I pray it helps them change their ways, because, you know, they should have, you know, did some research before they went to Tomopolis. They should have did that. And then there's questions about this doctor, which I want to look into the doctor a little bit more. Later down the line, we'll talk about him more on another live. But that's all I wanted to come and talk to you guys about for this video. We'll come back and talk about the doctor on another video if I get some more information on him. But there's people that are saying that they have gotten surgeries from him, and he does not let all those people come over. He has a lot of safety procedures in play. All right. I love you guys. Right. Yeah. And one picture does have the members smiling like they're joking around. Yeah, I showed that picture on the last live yesterday, girl. They over there smiling and stuff. We talked about that last night, girl. It was a hot mess. This story got to go. But again, they didn't deserve what happened to them at all. They did not. But at the same time, these people aren't on the up and up, and maybe some of the choices they made might have, you know, gotten them in some trouble with this whole tragedy. And I don't believe the cartel made a mistake like people keep saying. It was not a mistake in ID. They know what they were doing, and they know who they were targeting, and they intended to target those individuals, and they knew they were American based upon the tags on that car. It was an American license plate. Come on now, y'all. All right. Love y'all. Take care. Toodaloo.